Hey, I'm inbred, but I don't think a lot of people talk about this topic. Yes, yes, yes. My mom and dad are siblings. I think they're kind of proud of it too.
He said, me and my mom would be getting down and dirty. I'm thinking he's talking about cooking, maybe even hiking, maybe even gardening, something of that variety. He said, nah, I just need somebody to tell you somebody just because it feels like taboo. Me and my mom, we're very connected.
This girl wrote me saying that she just recently found out that her mama and daddy is sister and brother. Sister and brother. Sister and brother. Is you up?
So that would mean that my dad had sex with his girlfriend's daughter. Hold up. It gets even deeper. This is why I couldn't keep this to myself.
I just want to say for the record, I did not come up with the idea for today's video. God did. The internet did. Ancestry DNA did. Because somebody, multiple somebodies, looked at their family tree and discovered that it was less of a tree and more of a wreath, just going in circles, round and round. Nobody branching off anywhere. And before you click away, these are real people. Real TikToks, real DNA results, real drunk uncles at real birthday parties blowing up real families in real time. I just work here. Let's get into it. Now, I need to start with this gentleman right here, because he walked onto TikTok with the energy of a man who just won a court case. No lawyer, no PR team. Just him, his truth, and absolutely zero shame. Watch.
Hey, I'm inbred, but I don't think a lot of people talk about this topic. Yes, yes, yes. My mom and dad are siblings. I think they're kind of proud of it too. I come from a small town, and people don't really say anything. But I don't have like the slow traits like, some people have that's been inbred. I think it takes like a long time of inbredness for those traits to start coming out. But I'm here if anybody want to ask me any questions. Oh, and yeah, my mom and dad, they are still together. Still doing that nasty shit.
Still doing that nasty. He said it like he was reading the weather forecast. And the confidence he came with. The credentials. I don't have the slow traits. Sir, you opened with I'm inbred. And immediately submitted your qualifications. That is a LinkedIn bio I have never seen before in my life. And his parents are still together. Still going strong. I am not going to say another word. Moving on. Now, this man right here carried a secret for 4 years. 4 years. And the only reason we know about it today is because his friend is no longer with us. So technically, we are receiving this information from beyond the grave, which is already a lot.
My friend had an intimate relationship with his mother, and I would like to talk about this because he told me I could talk about it if he ever passed away. And this morning I woke up to news that he had crossed over to the next life. So let's talk about this. My friend, I went over to his house. He lived in Knockemstiff, Ohio. Knockemstiff, Ohio doesn't have that big of a population, so anybody that's watching this in Knockemstiff, you'll know who it is. So afterwards, I discover, after arriving at his household, I see that he gives his mom a kiss on her cheek. And I say, oh, that's pretty okay, all right. Most people give their mom a kiss on the cheek. That's pretty cool. Then his mom gives him a kiss on the lips. That confused me a little bit, but, I've seen crazier things. I've been to France before. I know what's going on. So, after this whole debacle happens, he says, hey, man, we've known each other for quite some time. That's not true. I've known him for a month. It's not been quite some time, but men have very intimate connections with people they've known for a short amount of time. Ask any woman on the planet. Now, he said, me and my mom would be getting down and dirty. I'm thinking he's talking about cooking, maybe even hiking, maybe even gardening, something of that variety. He said, nah, I just need somebody to tell you somebody just because it feels like taboo. Me and my mom, we're very connected. I said, connected? Okay, like Bluetooth? Okay, we connected. Do Siri. He said, no. I said, He said, we're connected. Like, I'm with her. After my dad passed, she didn't have a man. I said, oh, hold up a second. Whoa, hold up a second. Whoa. he's telling me some nonsense. He's telling me something that's only known for Alabama. We're in Ohio. I'm really confused. He says, yeah, my dad passed away, and I didn't want my mom to be lonely. I didn't trust no men, so I took up the mantle. I said, oh, okay. Well, I didn't know what to say. I was speechless for the first time in quite some time. For the first time maybe in my life, I was looking for words to say because I had never encountered this situation before. I had never seen anybody that was desperately in an intimate relationship with their own person that they came from, the literal womb they came back from. He really had a craving to go back home because he was nostalgic for something. He was someplace for 9 months, and that messed me up a little bit. And then he said something that really shook me to my actual core. He said, is it really that wrong to want your mom to be loved by somebody that you know could treat her right? I said, that is I don't know what to tell you, man. That's a sentence. And his mom came in. I thought he was playing, or I thought he was pulling some joke on me. His mom, I walked up to her, very lovely lady. I said, hey, you know what I'm saying, your son is making up crazy allegations and rumors about you two doing things, in the privacy of your own house. And she said, we are. I said, oh, shout out to One Piece. We are? That's crazy. I was sick to my stomach. I threw up. And I didn't even sleep in the same household. I got a motel when I was invited to spend the night. I was a little bit upset. And he said, hey, could you please not tell anybody about this? I said, not tell anybody about it. I was in the middle of making a Facebook post. I was about to tell the world, I was about to make a YouTube I was about to pay an editor to hire somebody to get this story out to the public, to the masses. And he said, just do it after I'm gone. I said, after you're gone? He said, tell people after I'm gone, because I can't have this be out. I got too many close personal friends. I got too many people that know me. I said, why would you tell me? He said, because I feel like you're easy to talk to. I said, oh, me? Easy to talk to? That's fair. That's valid. So, I've held on to this secret for 4 years. 4 years I've been holding on to this in my entire soul and my body. Now you guys know. Now my entire audience knows. Now anybody who wants to share this video knows. Person's gone now. Mom is gone. He's gone. Doesn't matter to me at this point. That's scary. You're probably wondering, well, how did he pass away? Gun violence. I'm not gonna lie to anybody. Gun violence. That's not gonna sugarcoat it. He walking down the street, boom. Oh my goodness. He got acme. He got hit by an anvil going walking across the street. That was a very comical death. God really plays the craziest jokes on people. I'm not even religious, and God plays jokes. That was just psychotic. I'm not gonna lie to anybody.
He got a motel. He was invited to spend the night, and he went and booked himself a motel room. Because there are certain things you cannot unsee, and certain roofs you simply cannot sleep under. Fully valid. But what I cannot get over is the mum. She didn't hesitate. No pause. No blink. Just, we are. Like he asked her if she wanted more sweet tea. Ma'am. And then this man, rest his soul, got hit by an anvil walking down the street, like an actual cartoon character. God really looked down and said, not today. And absolutely not like this. Prayers up. Genuinely. Alright. This next one is short, but I need you to pay very close attention. Because she's going to show you something on her phone, and it's going to take your brain a full minute to catch up with what your eyes are reading.
I just found out that I'm a child of incest. So I found this out because my grandfather passed away. And then I found out that my grandfather is also my uncle because he's my mom's brother, half-brother. But he's also my father's father. So my mother married her nephew and had me. And my father fell in love with my auntie because he has HIV and she was very accepting of it. So he married her and had me. So this is my mom. This is me. This is my dad. This is my grandpa and uncle. See, so my mom, her brother, you click on him. See, that's his sister and this is his son. You see that? This is his sister and this is his son. You click on him, they're married. You see?
Did everyone follow that? because I had to pause and draw it out on actual paper. Her grandfather is also her uncle. Her mother married her nephew. Her father has HIV and married her aunt. This family tree is not a tree. It is a knot. A very decorative, very complicated knot that absolutely nobody should have tied. But here we are. Okay. Now this is the one that sent me completely sideways. This one came in as a letter, because some things are just too heavy to say out loud. Her name is Hannah. She's 19 years old. She drove home for what she thought was just her mama's surprise birthday party. The food was out. The family was there. Everything looked completely fine. Until drunk Uncle James grabbed the mic. We have all been at a family function where somebody had one too many and decided it was time for truth. But not like this. Nobody has ever had an Uncle James moment like this one. Watch.
Good morning, cousin. Is you up? Good morning, look. Trigger warning. I got a letter from my box and I couldn't wait to read it. So I put my coat on, put this hat on, and brought my ass outside. So trigger warning. This story got a little incest in it. This girl wrote me saying that she just recently found out that her mama and daddy is sister and brother. Sister and brother. Sister and brother. Is you up? So she started off the letter saying that she not trying to bash her mama or her. They are great. She loved them very and her and her brother was raised with so much love. We'll name her Hannah. She's 19 years old and she is currently in college. Her and her younger brother, who is 17 years old, he graduated from high school early. So she goes into the letter to say her daddy ended up reaching out to her and her brother saying that he was throwing their mama a surprise birthday party and he wanted, them to be. So of course they was gonna be with gifts in hand. She like her and her brother drove down the weekend of the surprise birthday party so they can do a little shopping and find their mama something, for her birthday. Hannah said her family has always been what she like to call complicated, but she ain't everybody family complicated. So boom, her and the brother ended up making it to the house. The daddy was happy to see them. The mama was surprised to see them and also happy to see them as well. They went to their rooms. They put the gifts up that they got they mom. This, that, and the third. She was looking on social media and she ended up seeing that her cousin, we'll name her Caitlin, was down here for the surprise birthday party too. So she ended up writing Caitlin like, hey Caitlin, you want to go out tonight? And she was like, her and Caitlin ain't never really just had the best relationship, but she was the fun cousin. So she was like, we'll just see you at the party, or I'll just see you at the party. Some shady like that. She was like, Caitlin has always acted weird towards her, like ever since they were kids. She would say little things about her mama and dad, saying how they shouldn't have been that close and her daddy didn't told her stuff about, her mama and her dad, like that. Okay, let's fast forward, because it was the day of the birthday and she was like, a whole lot of family came. All your mama's sisters and brothers came. It was about 6 of them, cousins, grandma came. It was just like a place full of family and friends. So she was like, they was eating their dinner and everybody eating or whatever, everybody conversating. Some people conversating amongst they. Some people looked like they was looking around, looking at the decorations, and your mama was very surprised when she ended up walking in and seeing all the family and friends. So let's fast forward to the point where she ended up finding out. So she was like, her drunk uncle, we'll name him James. Her drunk Uncle James ended up standing up and he was giving a toast. And he was like, I'm so happy to be here to celebrate with my lovely sister and brother-in-law. And it was just like the way that he said. He ended up bumping out those two. We couldn't keep them apart. They could never keep their hands off of each other. They were so in love, even when they shouldn't have been. So everybody was like, what the? So your daddy ended up like getting mad as so Hannah was like, she knew that what the he meant. Like she knew that it was something up with it. So the grandma ended up standing up because James was like, no two people should be that close to one another, especially when they've been told several times that they don't need to be with each other. So she like, what the? So the grandma ended up telling James to sit his drunk ass down. So after he said that, the conversations at the table got kind of awkward. And so Hannah was like, all the adults or whatever, like her mama, her daddy, her uncle, and her grandma ended up going to the kitchen. So she said she was eavesdropping. She, went up there to see what they were talking about, and she really wished she wouldn't have, because she ended up hearing her grandma say, I know them two wasn't supposed to be together, but hell, I couldn't stop them. James, you couldn't stop them. I know that they brother and sister, but look what they got. They got a family now. She said she was like, what the f? And went back and sat at the, she said it felt like her body went numb. Her whole body went numb. And she did not know how to feel after she heard it. So let me know if you want the next part to this story, because she did give me some more details on how she actually ended up coming to her mama and daddy about what she heard. So bitch, let me know, because there could be a part two. It's cold as sad. So let's see. Let me do head on, head off. I think I'm gonna go with head off. Okay, so boom. Oh, trigger warning. There is accusations of incest in this story. So trigger warning, you have been warned. It is some accusations of incest in this story. So I received a letter today from this young lady who said she ended up finding out that her parents are actually siblings. Oh, if you missed the first part to that, I'm gonna try to tag it in the caption somewhere. So yeah, this is the second part. She was like, after she heard that her parents is siblings, like she went back to the table and she was like, for a second, like everything was, she no longer heard any conversation. She was pretty much just in her own head until her brother tapped her and was like, you know, Hannah, are you okay? She like, yeah, I'm fine, but hiding the fact that she just heard what she just heard. So she was like, she was just sitting at the table, whatever. She started back eating her food, and when they came out the kitchen or what, she put her head down. Like they knew she was eavesdropping, so like a guilt type thing, I guess. So she was like, after dinner, when everybody was kind of like standing around talking to each other, her cousin Caitlin came up to her and was like, you know something, don't you? And she was like, what you mean I know something? She was like, you know something, don't you? Like, I could tell by the way that you was looking at them. What did you hear in the kitchen? So she told Caitlin, like, it ain't none of her business what you heard in the kitchen. So she was like, it must have been something because it had you dead. When the letter, she was like, she quickly got irritated and just walked away from her cousin. Then she like, it got to the point where her mama was standing by the cake. Her and her dad was standing by the cake, and they was singing happy birthday to them. She was like, just the look of her daddy kissing her mama made her cringe, and he was holding her hand, and they was looking at each other with loving eyes, and she was like, that just really upset her stomach. So she said she ended up just walking away. So when she ended up coming back, her brother was like, are you sure you okay? And she said she told him like, you know, yeah, I'm okay, even though deep down she really wasn't. So her mama must have noticed when she walked off, when they was singing happy birthday to her, because she ended up walking over there with a piece of cake and asked her, was everything okay? She was like, I saw you, you know, run out of here, like, are you okay? And she was like, you know, yeah, I'm fine, my stomach just hurt. She was like, oh well, you probably don't want this cake. So she was like, she took the cake, she told her mama happy birthday, and she ended up telling her to go look at the gift, because she had like a little gift table. She was like, oh, I'm gonna look at the gifts after the party. So, you know, she was just like, okay. She was really just trying to change the subject about her stomach hurt. So she said she started eating the cake and it just didn't taste right to her no more. So she ended up throwing it away. So she like, her cousin Caitlin must have been like sneaking and drinking and because she ended up drunk. So at this point, everybody pretty much leaving the party. Caitlin was like, I'm gonna spend the night with you, cause she was like, that's how she knew she was drunk. And at first she was like, she really didn't want Caitlin to spend the night, like, yeah. But her mama was like, come on, you know, that's your family or whatever. She was like, yeah, you know, on which side? And she like said it up under her breath and shit. So, but anyway, so she was like, that night when Caitlin was laying in the bed asleep, Caitlin ended up blurting out, you found out your mama and your daddy is sister and brother, didn't you? So she said, you know, like, what? Because she wanted her to repeat it. She said, you found out that your mama and your daddy are sister and brother, didn't you? So she told Caitlin to shut her fucking mouth. So she said, Caitlin was like, well, that ain't what I heard. But she was like, well, what else did you hear? By that time, Caitlin had like fell asleep, so she didn't even answer the call. So she was like, she had got up that night and she went downstairs to try to get like some water, you know, something to put her. She was like, she, even if it was some shots, she wanted to put herself to sleep. So she was like, she went to her parents' room because it wasn't late. She went to her parents' room, you know, kind of check on her mama, see if she enjoyed her pop. And she knocked on the door, but didn't nobody answer. She walked in on them, y'all. She walked in on her mama and her daddy. I don't see nothing wrong with what? With a little bump and grind. Oh my God. So let me know if you want another part in the comment, because I do think it's like maybe 1 to 2 more parts to the letter. So comment with part 3 in the comments if you want me to do another part.
She walked in on them. I'm going to let that sit right there for a second. She knocked on the door of her parents' room on her mama's birthday, after already hearing what she heard in that kitchen. And she walked in on them, the same night, under the same roof, after the cake, after the toast, after all of that. And you know what really gets me? That cousin Caitlin knew the whole time. Knew. Came to the party. Acted shady all weekend. And then had the nerve to wait until she was drunk and half asleep to blurt it out. Caitlin is a menace, and I will not be taking questions. And finally, because apparently we are not done today, this woman was literally at work when her sister called her with this information. On the clock. Trying to make a living like a normal person. And her sister decided that was the perfect moment to detonate an entire family bomb through the phone.
So, listen, right? I can't keep it to myself. And I don't know if you want to consider it story time. I don't know what you want to consider it. But I can't hold it. I got to tell somebody else, right? So, I'm at work, right? My sister know my schedule very well. She's blowing my phone up. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with this girl? So, I go to the bathroom and I call her. And I'm like, what's up? She like, you remember I did that ancestry thing or whatever to try to find some family members? So I'm like, yeah. Now, mind you, me and her share the same dad, but my sister is mixed. So, you know how mixed people is. They want to find their people. So she go on there, right? And she get a click. She get a notification or whatever. I don't know. That somebody is related to her. Boom. The person is so close in DNA that she either has to be my sister's niece or my sister's sister, which is my sister as well, right? So now my sister all excited, like, oh shit, we got a sister out there. Da-da-da-da-da. Bam. My sister reaches out to the girl. Oh man, it's getting steep. My sister reaches out to the girl to ask the girl, you know, like, have you ever heard of me or my father, anybody in my family? The girl's like, no. You know, but she lived in the same town as my sister. Grew up in the same town as my sister, right? So she says no, but she starts naming her people. When she starts naming her people, her grandma, listen, her grandma used to go with my dad. Now, how do I know this? Because my dad was with my sister's mom when he made me. He cheated on my sister's mom with me, but he also was messing with this other woman because that's how my mom knew about the other woman. So he was running all three of these women, right? Boom. So she says that the lady that he used to go with is her grandma. So that would mean that my dad had sex with his girlfriend's daughter. Hold up. It gets even deeper. This is why I couldn't keep this to myself. She would have been underage at the time. This puts my dad in a predator box. So now me and my sister are like confused. Do we open this door and find out about our sister? Or do we close it because it could possibly expose my dad for something we never ever looked at him for doing? Like never. When I tell you I've never got a pedophile vibe from my dad, never. My dad used to go to prison a lot when I was younger, like a lot, you know. And when he came home, like he, you know, my dad always a big man. He's a big man right now, so I just cannot fathom my dad, this big man. Like, and when I say my dad big, like he love weights, 70-something years old, still go to the gym. I cannot imagine. I cannot just fathom my dad going with the mom and somehow got the daughter pregnant. Oh my God. I can't even put myself in a girl's shoes. I don't know. And this is why I can't keep it to myself, because it's like, what do we do? Do we go to my dad and question him? Do we go to the girl's mom? Like, who do you go to, and how is this like the correct way of going about this? My dad could possibly had slept with a minor, his girlfriend's child, and made a baby. When I tell you this is so far-fetched, like nobody would have ever thought this. I'm like, oh my God, this was like such a bad thing that my sister did this. Because now, like, how do we supposed to look at my dad? And I feel so bad for the girl, because she's grown up like her mom she has like a family, like a mom, like her dad. She thinks she has a dad and everything. That can't be your dad because DNA says that my dad is your dad. So your mom kept this secret? Did she even tell your grandmom? Like, oh my God, there's so many questions into this, and I am like, I gotta get off of work. I have to get off of work because I just need to sit somewhere and just like think, how is this possible? And why did I never ever get a vibe from my dad, like pedophile vibes? Could that DNA be lying? Could the ancestry thing like messed it up? Because it says she had to be my niece or my sister, and there's no way she could be my niece. Because her mom was 16 when she had her. My oldest brother would have been 9. There's no way she's my niece. There's no way. Close the door or open the door? What do we do?
Close the door or open the door? I've been sitting with that question because on one hand, you deserve to know your sister. On the other hand, knowing means looking your father in the face with information that changes everything. A man who still goes to the gym at 70-something years old. A man nobody ever looked at sideways, not once. And that is what gets me about every single story today. Not one of these people went looking for this. The internet found them. DNA found them. A drunk uncle found them at a birthday party in front of the potato salad. So before you go, I need to ask you something. Do you think you would open the door? Drop it in the comments. I genuinely want to know. And if your family watched this with you today and everything is completely normal and boring, baby, count your blessings. See you next time.